Because his hair's almost long enough to be the mat. Because he hasn't had a haircut for ages.
Feels nice in my fingers.
Just put your chin down.
It's just like...
Dudes of the Round Table.
Welcome to Dudes of the Round Table.
Wow, that was
trash. What the fuck was that?
That's a version of a bad intro. That's what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we're having a demonstration now, are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
As always, I'm messing with you with sticker ideas and light and dark. You don't like this.
So fuck with me. I'm so tired today.
I'm at my wit's end, Ray.
My wit's end.
Wits end.
Thank you for that lovely intro, Chris. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. I'm, like you've just said, exhausted after today's efforts.
I'm talking here.
I'm talking here. I've been painting walls all day and now I'm here. I'm happy. No, I'm doing well now that we're all sitting here.
Did he just put the joke on himself?
Yeah.
Like, I painted walls.
I painted a wall.
I'm getting it out of the way because we always start the episodes by talking about me painting walls. I'm not going to talk about painting. No more painting talk for today.
You've painted with me before. You know, this is where I really have a good time.
Just beat the devil at it.
Painting's done for today. I'm good, Ray. I'm good.
The table.
How are you, Ray? How you been, mate?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm very tired. I've had a very long, tiresome week. Early mornings, late nights.
Yeah.
My training program's kicking my fucking butt, so that's probably contributing to it.
But it's working though.
I think so.
Yes.
I'm getting lighter.
Right, so you've dropped a few kgs. I know you were saying last week.
Yeah, I'm still above 100 though. But yeah.
Did you join Jake's program?
Jake's program.
Yeah, I've seen you.
Why is that? Go to Brooklyn's every second day and drink as many pints as you can squeeze in.
Jackson's.
No, not me, dickhead. I'm talking about the dude that's the PT.
People don't get my jokes.
Jackson Pios.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got his program.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the
When did you sign up?
pretty much. Well, he was putting on his story that he was going to release it.
Yeah.
And I knew it had the 3-7 method in it, which is a new training program that they say helps you build way more muscle and stuff like that according to studies. So I was like,
Right.
I'm really keen because I tried out the methodology in one of my workouts and it kicked my butt. And I was like, I like this.
I'm gonna do it again.
Okay. And then he was like, I'm writing a program, on his story. And I'm like, I messaged him like, bro, when is this coming out? And he's like, it's coming out next week, lad. I was like, all right, sweet. Kept watching his story every single day. And then I see one of his posts, drops tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, hell yeah, awesome. This is sick. Next day I see on the story, it's popped up again. Oh no, it's not popped up on the story. The next day I'm like, where the hell is it? And I go to his profile and the link's already in his bio, but he's not advertised it yet. And straight away I was like, click, credit card details, ordered it. But no, it's pretty cool. It's a 6-week program, 5 days a week, of butt kickery.
I think I might sign up too, eh?
Yeah.
I think I'll do it on Monday.
It's good, man. It's cheap. It's like $42.
Is that
How long
all?
For a 6-week program, yeah. It's only the training side of things, but yeah, it's pretty good. And he's doing it as well. He's like about a week in himself into it, and he's loving it as well. So
Man, the meals that dude eats is like 3 people's food in one, bro.
He's a unit, this guy.
How the fuck can people consume that much food? That's what I'm.
But if you cross this guy in the street, you'd think he was just like your typical gym meathead,
But it's complete opposite.
But like he's like a PhD sports scientist.
Yeah,
That's
right.
cool.
Yeah.
He knows his shit.
He knows his shit.
Ooh,
yeah.
yeah.
And the results he gets with a lot of his clients is just insane.
So check out the brain on that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane. Check out the muscles on that dude as well. Yeah, like little man crush. But yeah, no, go check it out.
Shout out to
Is this
Jakey
your,
boy.
hang on, is this your gym daddy?
No, that's a
that's
completely
someone
different
else.
dude.
Nah, this dude-
That's a whole nother story. If we want, we can dive down there. But otherwise, yeah,
No.
But this program that you're doing, that you posted something the other day on your story.
yeah.
Okay,
So this is
that makes sense. now.
Jackson Pios.
Right.
Yeah, sports scientist here in Perth, WA. He's well renowned at the moment. Got a YouTube channel. And like it's cool. Like I always look at like obviously Perth is not like as like really world renowned as like Melbourne, Sydney, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But there's a dude lives here in Perth, sports scientist, and he fucks with some of the biggest names in the fitness industry as well. Like he's well sought after and stuff like that as well. So
And the results work. So people, if you're interested in checking out this program, go to his profile, which is Ray once again.
Jackson.pios on Instagram.
Check it out. Shouts out to Jackson.
Hopefully we'll get him on the show soon, eh?
Yeah, I might hit him up.
That'd be dope.
I don't know him personally, but yeah, I'll hit him up.
I know people that know him, so
Yeah.
I'll reach out to my contacts.
Cool.
Anyway, Jake, shooting it to you, mate. How you been this week, mate? How's things been going? How's the beard gone?
Man, the beard is itching me to death, bro.
It's getting there.
It's ginger too, man. I didn't think it was gonna be this gingery.
This gingery. How's your beard going? It's
His is
going
very-
ginger.
His is very
Yeah.
coconutty.
Yeah,
Dandruff.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
snowing.
if you break through to the middle parts, there's more juicy whiteness.
It just
coming
looks
out
like
now.
a.
Don't use that word, juicy. That's
Just looks like
it's
a.
gross.
I could have said moist.
Oh my god.
I want to sit somewhere else.
Weirding me out.
You're like, oh, that's what that smell was.
Every time Chris talks, there's a bit of flake just go like this in now. Space.
It's like,
I shouldn't have worn black.
Got the lint roll.
Yeah, I literally had to. I do it every time I wear black. Is bloody having a pug. You get pugged. The whole house is
the
covered
pug's
in
the
pug.
problem. The pug's the problem.
That and my grey hairs. It's a mixture of both.
Jesus Christ.
It's bad. Anyway, Jake, what were you saying again, man?
Yeah, I'm struggling to grow a beard, but I'm trying to commit. I've thought about shaving about 8 times this week, but I'm still going.
He's dreaming about it.
I say keep going. Just persevere through it.
Man, like, because I wake up in the morning.
Do you oil your beard though?
Nah.
That's why.
I wake up in the morning and I'm just like, everything's all flared up.
I wake
and
up in
it's
the
like,
morning too.
Feels like
Yeah, I said you got to get through this stage, and then it'll be,
You have to
be
oil
worth
it.
it.
You have to oil it.
Yeah.
I
Listen
don't
to
have
your
a beard.
elders.
Man, it's my first time growing a beard. I don't even own any of that shit.
Just go to Woolies, man. There's this nice one that's like it's like a squirter bottle too.
Okay.
You can actually just use coconut oil.
Yeah, I used coconut oil for a while when I ran out of
Coconut
actual
oil.
beard oil, but coconut oil does the job well.
You were like coconut.
But
Yeah.
just a bit, not too much.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
not
Well,
so,
I
not
only
so
need
you're
a little
dripping.
bit anyway.
Just a little bit.
I've already got
little bit
16
more.
facial hairs anyway, so it's alright. No, other than that, man, what else I've been doing? Not a whole lot, man. Just flat out with work, doing 10, 12-hour days here and there. And just trying to focus and study on this podcast, man. Just trying to get shit sorted. Yeah,
Hustle is real.
Yeah, the hustle's real, man. Trying to get that grind, trying to get that moolah.
Yeah.
Hopefully be going up north. That's one good thing that actually happened this week.
Yeah.
Filled out some paperwork, and I'll touch base with that maybe when things actually go ahead. But
Fair
for
enough,
now,
fair enough.
we're looking at a 50-50 chance I'll be going up north. So
Nice, man.
for work,
Oh, well,
yeah.
well,
So pretty stoked on that. Which means if that happens, obviously I won't be able to do as much podcast with you boys, but we'll be able to. Put
We live in the
more-
day and age with the internet, bro. So
We'll be able to do more things.
We'll get you a cardboard cutout with a computer screen with your face on it, like
Yeah, straight up.
Robo Jake's in the house. Hello, my friend.
Like we're remote controlling.
Yeah.
Crashing everywhere.
With a patchy beard.
Just keeps like rotating me to left and left. Oh shit. Nah, but other than that, man, yeah, I don't know. My week's been pretty boring. I'm just trying to keep on the low with the hustle. So
Cool.
Now, Chris, we've got another person in this room.
We sure did, Lee.
It's a very lovely voice. People probably already heard in the background while we were just talking about ourselves.
Yes,
Can you
we're
please
getting there.
intro
We're getting
this
there.
lovely lady that is sitting next to us?
Tonight's guest is a very, very special one for everyone out there listening to Dudes of the Round Table in this episode. Her name is Alison. Hello, Alison.
the
Hello,
Queen.
hello.
Welcome
What up,
to
what
the
up, what
show.
up?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you coming out tonight and joining us on
Hey.
this awesome Friday.
Thanks for the invite.
How have you been?
Cruising.
Yeah.
Yeah, just cruising.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the latest in the world of alien at the moment? What's been happening?
Well, mainly it's all my quantum healing work.
Okay.
So, yeah, still working on a lot of business development, a lot of things going on behind the scenes with that. But, yeah, I have a waiting list, slowly smashing through that.
Waiting list are good.
Waiting list.
Yeah.
That's a very good sign.
Damn.
Very, very
Yeah.
good sign.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, how long has this been going on for so far? Before we do deep dive in it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still quite a new business, actually.
Very fresh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started it last year,
Right.
and I wasn't anticipating for it to grow as quickly as what it did,
Okay.
but it has done.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, happy with that. So
That's massively
That's awesome.
positive. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thanks.
And there's a queue. Listeners. Get in line now.
That's always a positive, starting something new and then very quickly after starting it,
yeah.
there's a wait list. Like,
Yeah. So
that's crazy. That's really awesome. Well done.
Yeah, so you got to be careful with what you ask for
True.
Because
Yeah.
but I've got help.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that as well. As
Yes,
we go on through the
we have a
podcast.
very, very special episode tonight. Especially delving in the realm, heading more towards my direction, where we end our podcast. We're heading into the
So
more
we're just
spiritual.
going to turn the mics off now, eh, bro?
Yeah, see you guys.
All right, so let's just turn this off.
Yes, more heading into the realm of the spiritual realm and maybe paranormal too. But before we get to this talk, let's go down a bit of memory lane. So you've been pretty much part of our family life, so to speak, for pretty much forever. We've known you forever, really.
Yeah.
You grew up in the same street or cul-de-sac, I should say,
Yeah.
as my mum did, and
Yes.
grew up with for the listeners out there. Uncle Craig also has known Ali
My
for
brother.
a very long time.
Yeah,
Yes,
and my brothers,
They used to be
yeah.
best friends back in
Yeah.
the day, growing up. Do you want to give us any memories from memory lane from the old Maddington days?
Oh, Jesus.
Any funny ones of Craig in particular?
No, because then he'll get me back. So,
True.
yeah. But it's pretty spun out that I've known your mum literally my whole life. Like
Crazy.
when I was born and brought home, she came round and that's when she met me. And as I was sort of growing up, your mum even babysat me for a little while.
Unreal.
On and off. Yeah. And so I consider your mum as one of my best friends, one of my dearest best friends. So, yeah, I'm very blessed and very lucky.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
We feel the same way for you being in our lives too. Like you've been there for us over the years, like going way back. Back in the
Back when Chris was a young man.
Yeah, before the beard and the grey hair started kicking in, like the old modelling studio days where we used to rehearse with the old band back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
even
going
my
back a
sister
while.
used to go there and
Yeah.
with you as well.
Do you know, I feel as though I've got contact with almost everybody in some way here in Perth. You know,
yeah.
because even now, like I'll walk through a shopping centre and I'll
You know someone. Yeah.
And I'm like, who are you and where do I know you from? Oh, I did modelling with you when I was like 12. And I'm like, how old are you now? They're like 30. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm ancient. Yeah, because I had that modelling agency for just over 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've taught in pretty much every single primary school, high school, TAFE. I've lectured at universities, and I think it's kind of hilarious in a way because when I was in year 11, year 12, I actually failed business studies.
Oh, wow.
And,
All right.
and my teacher said, well, Alison, you wouldn't want to run your own business now, would you?
Ha! Look at
And-
you now.
Who's laughing now?
Yeah, but coming from Maddo, you know, like I'm like, what the fuck do I care about running a fucking business anyway?
Yeah, that's it.
Neck minute. But that one
Yeah.
was called New Age Modelling, am I
Yeah,
correct? Yes, so
yeah.
good times back in
Yeah.
Maddington there. How long did you have that studio for?
Probably about 5 years. I had several studios all around Perth. I had one in Bustleton, Scarborough, Riverton, Melville, Gosnells for a little while. Yeah, just I had lots of different ones all over the place, and it grew too big, too quick, and I lost control of it.
Right.
Basically,
Yeah.
so that I needed to shrink it all back down to get more control.
Yep.
And so that's why I ended up just with the Maddington studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've
so-
worked with a lot of people from like young kids to adults in the modelling range, right?
Yeah.
So you probably would have helped a lot of people promote and kickstart their career into the modelling realm, right?
Yeah, and I mean the modelling, the TV, the film stuff, that was all good fun
Yep.
and all the rest of it. But you know, there is a dark side to it all. You know, what you hear is all absolutely true.
Yeah.
I did a lot of interviews, you know, for BBC London, Current Affair, Today Tonight, all of that sort of stuff about, you know, the darker side and, you know, all that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. But I started to slowly sort of taper off into a different direction and do more personal development stuff because that's what I love to
Yeah.
do. You know, because through the modelling, you know, kids coming in and out, you know, every week, you start to see them grow and develop, and that's really exciting.
journey.
And so, yeah. So then I sort of started to err towards more of the personal developments sort of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So then I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll do a little bit more study. So, so that's how I got into mental health work, got into counselling, and got some credibility and all of that sort of stuff. So
Very cool. I didn't know about that because last time I would have seen you was with that Maddington, the modelling studio that was up the top.
Yeah.
And then us going and causing a ruckus up there, playing loud music at like 10 o'clock at night. Like,
yeah. And the shops from across the road would report back to me and go, you had that band in the other night, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did I?
I still remember having my drum kit set up on the end of the catwalk.
Yeah. I remember that.
For the longest time, it was right at the end of the catwalk. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. But, like, as I was just starting that business, I actually used to sneak into Curtin University and sit in on their lectures. And I did that for 2 years. I would sit in on their business stuff and also their psych stuff.
Now they know.
We said be careful about what you say.
That's why she changes the hair colour every month, so they don't Have you seen this lady? Oh.
Who is it?
No.
Yeah.
So you delved in that realm for a while until you found your calling, pretty much, which was like helping people more.
Yeah, I guess so. Because from there, I started to do a little bit more specialised sort of work with mental health.
Yep.
Dealing with the pointy end sort of stuff. People with a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia and some really serious, heavy diagnoses. Yeah. So I worked a lot with all of that. I facilitated hearing voices groups. So people that would hear other voices, but not in the psychic type of mediumship way. It was more in the other sort of way.
Right.
And that was fascinating. So I did a lot of that sort of stuff. And and I decided to go back to uni, but as a legit student this time.
Hey, we've seen you from here before. No, you've been coming here for the last few years.
No, that's not me. Where's your evidence? So I was doing that, and it was actually during a uni break that I decided to learn about the hypnosis.
Oh, cool.
So,
Right, okay.
Yeah, so that's how it all sort of ties in.
So that wasn't part of the plan?
No, not originally, no.
Okay, so how did you come across the actual class?
Yeah, it just kind of happened.
Out of the blue?
Well, what had happened is I started to read a lot about a woman called Dolores Cannon. She's written 17 books, and in a nutshell, she used to do a lot of hypnosis work, and she started to find that a lot of her clients were having past life regression stories come through. So then she sort of just decided to delve into that. And from that, there were past life stories from different realms and from alien sort of stuff and just some far out, weird, trippy shit. She calls it mind candy. So
Mind candy.
Mind candy. Yeah. So when you read her books, you're like, fucking what?
It's like...
It takes a while to sort of settle in and go,
what kind of drugs are you on?
Yeah. Is this legit? Is this for real? Like how can this be? But then after you read a lot of her stories and stuff, she has hypnotized thousands of people from all around the world, and a lot of these people were saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
How can that happen?
Yeah.
And we don't know everything.
I've heard stories like that about like there was that kid not long ago, and he had memories of like a past life, like going back to like World War I or something. And they actually went to one of the guys that he recollected and
found records,
and spoke to, or they spoke to him, or they found records or something like that, and it was all true.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah, so I know what you're talking about. So that's just on a doco I just watched on Netflix called Surviving Death. And they put that short doco in that actual doco, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Long story short, the kid remembered being in war and stuff, and where he crashed a plane, and he said his sister's, like, he goes, I have a younger sister, obviously now who's an elderly woman, and they found her, and she goes, my older brother died in an airplane accident, and the kid goes, that's me, and she's like freaking out and all this stuff, and then he explains the whole story, and she goes, that's exactly what happened. And this kid's like not even 10 years old, man.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And they took him to the exact crash, and he goes, that's where I died, over there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's so many stories like that, so many. How can you deny that?
And it's like, they say, there's a small part of us that's always connected to our past.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that. There's something in our spiritual and genetic DNA makeup where we've kept and held onto things from our previous lives in the physical and spiritual realm, where it continues on and passes on stuff. So some people can be afraid of certain things and not know why, and that could be something related to your past life, or you could have certain allergies even, or some sort of physical disability or something along those aspects that has continued on through this passing.
Well, you can't destroy energy. Energy has to go somewhere.
Residual.
It either turns into something else or it turns into someone.
Well, that's
else.
like that. That thing that we.
I strongly believe that, Jake. Yes, you're right. I reckon that's.
There was another thing I read. It was like a meme, but it was like a hectic meme where it was like, what if the real reason why a baby cries when they're born is because when you die, the light you see when
is you coming out.
You coming out of your mother's womb,
or like opening your eyes. For
and you open your eyes for the first time, and you're now this new person. But
Maybe.
So these babies are aware of everything because they've just dealt with the past.
But then over time.
You grow and you start this whole new life again. That's some fucked up shit. When I read that, I was like, I'm not even high right now. This is fucking tripping me out, bro.
There's something too like that, similar to what you're talking about too, is where children are born or people that have birthmarks as well.
Yeah.
Apparently that can relate to past lives as well. Like maybe that was an injury that you had along those lines, but it comes up as a birthmark instead of like a physical scar, so to speak, or something like that.
Yeah.
I've heard stories like that too. So
well, I had a client who she in this lifetime fidgets with her hands like this all the time and didn't understand why, along with a few other things. And she had a session with me, and what turned out to be was that she was a healer in a past life, but back in the times where it was considered for her to be a witch.
Right.
And so because she used to do all of her healing and all that sort of stuff and do it, underground sort of thing, and she got found. And so when she got found, there was a struggle and they tried to arrest her, and then she ended up getting shot in the face, and that's how she died. So, but in this lifetime, she doesn't want to do her healing because she still has the gift, but because she has this deep-seated hidden fear of being prosecuted for it. And then she said to me, she goes, oh, well, this explains this noise then. And she leant in forward to me and she moved her jaw, and on the side where she got shot in her past life, when she moves her jaw around, you can hear the crunch, 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 crunch. It's like all these bloody... all the little bits of bone was still loose. And she goes, the doctors and I don't understand why I've got this. And she said ever since she was a teenager, she has to do these exercises every night to loosen her jaw, because otherwise in the morning she'll wake up and she's got lockjaw.
Wow.
She can't move her jaw.
Shit.
See, there you go.
So she had this session with me, and we said, okay, we can release that. You don't need to carry that fear. It's not needed. So we got rid of it, and so now she doesn't have to do those exercises, and
what?
It's fucking weird.
That's trippy, yo.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
That's sick, but
wow,
man.
I like that. It's like a like, not to like look at it in a funny way, but it's almost like puzzle solving kind of thing. It's like you're looking for clues that point you in the right direction. Like you would see these clues, but you wouldn't look at them as clues. And then when you find out about those past stories, you kind of like go, that makes sense. This is this, and you piece it all together and you go,
because I had another person who had this fear of horses, and she never grew up with any horses and couldn't pinpoint why do I have this fear of horses. Anyway, going to a past life, and it was like mid 1800s, and her parents were arguing. She was like a little boy in that past life, but 6 years of age, and hid underneath the table, and the father was going mad because there was problems financially in the household and all the rest of it. And because she was so scared hiding underneath this table, the father shouted at her to get out from under this table. So she got out from underneath the table but ran straight out into the street. And as she ran out into the street, she was cleaned up by a horse and carriage. And then died.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why in this lifetime she's brought the fear of horses.
Yeah, right.
Along with the fear of having financial troubles as well. Yeah. And not facing fears head on.
Right.
So we're able to talk
bizarre.
about that, get rid of that.
I think that's really cool because it gives people that kind of closure of understanding why they have those fears because
Yeah.
now they have power to overcome it.
Yeah.
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 Pretty
That's
powerful.
crazy.
Because as soon as you shine light onto something,
Yeah.
it takes all the darkness
Takes it-
away and it
yeah.
takes away the power of it, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
And, you know, there's loads of people that have got fears about, you know, dark spaces, being confined, water, you know, and a lot of the times it's because of...
Yes, we have talked about
yeah,
that.
because you don't know how to swim, do you? Yeah. And a lot of the times it's got to do with how people have died. Because when I do a session with somebody, I take them, you know, through certain stages of their life, but I always take them to the last day of their life that we're looking at and take them through the death scene because there's so much important information that happens during that time.
Holy crap.
And then we go through the light and then we do a life review of that lifetime.
Yeah.
What were the lessons? What was the purpose? And all of that sort of stuff.
Wow.
That's
What
incredible.
have you carried from that lifetime to this lifetime? What do you need to get rid of? Yeah.
Getting goosebumps thinking about that now.
Yes, believe me, I
Yeah.
know. I went through it Monday with Alison, actually.
yes. We come around and
It
did
was
a
a very
session. Yep.
interesting session, and we talked pretty much a lot about what we've just spoken about. Jesus Christ, can't talk. Here we go. We addressed a lot of these things that we've just spoken about. So,
Do you want to give us an insight, or are we not allowed to ask?
yeah, we can get into a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I don't mind sharing some of the stories. When we first got into it, when I went talking about past life stuff, my first one was I was a farmer in what seemed to be maybe Greece or the Middle East or something like that. I just remember I could see my feet and I was in like a field of like nice, long, luscious green grass. And yeah, that could be why I have a passion for grass. So, and I was a farmer of some sort where I herded. Herded? Is it herd or herded?
Herded.
Sheep
some
and
cows.
farm sheep and
And goats.
goats as well. Yes,
Yeah.
I collected the milk and made cheese and I sold the meat and that sort of stuff. So, and then I went into another past life
And
after
you
that
overfed
one.
it to your little brother and made him lactose intolerant.
Son of a bitch.
Jake's
Lactose.
like, it's all your fault.
Yeah.
That wasn't a past, it was just only a few years ago.
Carry on, sorry.
Yeah, so I went from this past life into, which I don't even know what year that would have been. That I'd say would have been quite a long time ago because the clothes I remember wearing in this time was kind of like almost like a potato sack sort of style, like very, very, very minimal. You know, with like
Rustic.
rustic with
Real
like
rustic.
the
Rope
rope
kinda
tying
thing,
in the
yeah.
middle with the waist. Yeah, I had no shoes. Probably because I was comfortable on my farm. I think it was near the ocean too. I could see like pictures of the ocean and blue skies and that. And yeah, then I went to this other place, which was
But you leapfrogged.
I did. Yes, I didn't stay in one
Yeah.
realm. I went to 3 actually.
Yeah, because that happens sometimes. I can either hold somebody throughout from childhood all the way through to their adult life through to their death. But sometimes when, like, if we leave a scene, okay, let's go to another scene, and there are certain ways in which I do that. Sometimes you'll go forward into that life, but if there's no important information that you need to know, then you won't go forward in that lifetime. You'll just leave that lifetime and leapfrog straight into another one.
You're right, and I think that was just showing me one of my past lives where it was just, like you said, no real heavy information needed to be shared. It was just showing me, I think. So,
Yeah.
and then we've jumped to another realm where it was, I'd want to say, early 1900s, maybe, like maybe pre-World War One. Like walking, it looked like I was in London, like walking in the streets of London, like the old school buildings, like you see with like the wood and like the pale white and that sort of stuff.
So
And like yeah, pretty much, like the old sort of like stone roads almost, cobblestone.
Yeah.
And I was walking alone there, and I ended up going to one particular building, and there was a woman that greeted me at the door, and yeah, apparently she was my wife at this time, and I kind of skipped a bit forward after this as well. After like, it was like seeing flashes. It wasn't like I was in like a video sort of visual scene. It was like kind of flashes and like kind of images and words are popping in my head, and it skipped into the future where I had 2 children. I had a son and a daughter, and there was kind of flashes of me with her and the 2 kids, and then it skipped a bit further after a few questions were asked, and I was in a shop, and I used to sell goods. It might have been like a grocery store or a hardware store back in those days. And,
Selling lawnmowers.
yeah, promoting grass. Yeah. So I think the thing I took away from that scene, I think I actually got a bit emotional during that when I saw the children. I remember my eyes getting quite watery at this point in time. I think it's just the overwhelming sense of family and love that I really felt from that time. You know, I was really happy, you know. I had a loving family environment, and it was really important. And I was happy with my business and my family life. That's what I took away from that. And then we leapfrogged again into the future, which I reckon was definitely during the 20th century, so like 2000 backwards, I reckon. But I was an old man in a hospital bed, and I was surrounded by family, which I remember seeing in the visions or what I could see in my head in the flashes was I'm assuming wife to the left of me, and 2 older gentlemen on the right, which I was assuming were my sons all grown up. But I was in bed, in a hospital bed. I had like balding head on top, but I had longish hair on the sides. And I was quite old. I reckon probably like 80s or so. And I was dying. And I just remember being surrounded by my family and kind of dying peacefully. But I remember, Alison, you asked me, what are you dying from? What do you reckon your cause of death is in this time and line? And I kept getting stomach. Like the word stomach kept popping in my head. And I said, it's my stomach. So I don't know what it was. It could have been stomach cancer. It could have been anything. There's a whole lot of issues that could stem from there, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, I spoke to my higher conscience. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or higher self?
So we go into the light and we go higher up, and we call upon your guides and angels to come through, and we speak to your higher self, your subconscious mind as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so people have different words for however they want to describe their higher self. So I kind of go through all of them just to, make sure it's holistic.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, can I ask your higher self some questions? Right. Yes or no?
Yeah.
One of them I will share, which I found was really interesting, was you had asked me, why does Chris have diabetes, and how does that relate to his life and that sort of stuff? Why does he have it and what? And it was a bit of a while to get the answer out, wasn't it? It was a bit quiet for a minute, and then I think, what did I say? Did I say saved first? Was it?
I actually don't remember.
I'm trying to think. I said I'm pretty sure I said saved, and did you say saved? I said yes. And he's like,
yeah, it saved me.
Saved me, yeah. And it said, saved Chris from what? And I responded with, from death. Yeah. From dying.
That's right.
So apparently I've got diabetes because it saved me from death. So I don't know, it could mean a whole bunch of things. Whether it means I was diagnosed at the right time before potentially going into a diabetic coma, maybe. Maybe that's what it means. But it could mean a whole bunch of things,
at the time when you did get your first ever, what's the word?
Diagnosis, yeah.
You was through the roof, weren't you? Like the levels were through the roof.
Yes, I remember going to the doctor and they checked my blood sugar levels, and they were through the roof. So it's probably lucky I caught it at that time, really. So, yeah, I thought that was quite interesting, but
it's pretty bizarre.
But you were also diagnosed at quite a pivotal point in your life as well, though.
Yes, I was diagnosed at 18, which is kind of like where you're just pretty much entering like adulthood, really.
Yeah.
Coming out of adolescence and heading into adult life. So
yeah,
it was very life changing, as it would be for anyone being told they have a permanent disease for the rest of your life that you have to cope and deal with and manage in order to keep yourself alive. So
pay attention to yourself.
It was very interesting, and I highly recommend it. But it was a crazy experience, and I felt very comfortable through the whole thing. Like there was one point where you're so relaxed, right? And I'm not laying. I suppose you call it laying. I was on my recliner, and I was right all the way back. And at one point, I felt like, because my hands are by my side, I'm laying pretty much flat. But it felt like at one point, like my hands were up above my head like this, and it was just so bizarre. And like, I do remember my eyes like rapidly moving the whole time.
Ali's like, what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing?
Recording it for like purposes.
But no, but getting into this though, Ali. So your business is called Quantum Healing,
That's correct.
right? Did you maybe want to give us a rundown on what your clients will go through from the start of the hypnosis and healing process to the very end? Like, I know we kind of like jumped it with what I've just said, but maybe kind of go through of how you talk to people and how you approach it and start
typical
off.
approaches,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'd imagine every single, session person is
Is
different.
so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's
yeah.
I guess what's a typical run through so people can understand what
Okay.
they would be getting into?
All right.
So,
So first things first, I come to you.
okay.
So people are most comfortable
In
and
their
confident and safe and secure in their own homes.
Yeah.
So I will come to you. It needs to be a one-on-one. So your significant other or your friends, whatever, doesn't matter. You're not to be around. No one's going to be, sticky beaking and eavesdropping or anything like that. Because 9 times out of 10, people tell me things that they haven't even told their therapists.
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of unpacking to start with before I even go into the hypnosis.
Yeah.
So I don't just arrive and go, okay, all right, let's find somewhere comfy.
Of course.
Yeah.
What I have found though is because before I even come to, say for example, Ray, if you book me for a session, the morning of your session, about half an hour before I come to you, I take my book out and I ask my guides and my angels, okay, talk to me about Ray. And then next thing you know, I'm writing all this stuff down, writing it, whatever comes, I just write it down because I'm a medium and I'm a channel and I've done all this sort of psychic work before. And I've always seen spirits and heard spirits my entire life. So that has all sort of come through as well.
Yeah.
That wasn't part of my plan. It just happened.
Yeah.
Because early on when people started to book me, I would start getting these messages and I'd be driving and I'm like, what the fuck? You're like, I can't remember all of this. And write it down. Okay, well, stop talking to me while I'm driving. Let's do it before I leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I can only do it just before I'm about to leave. I can't do it like a day before
Yeah. Okay.
because they're like, no, now's not the time because I'm not supposed to hold or know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just write all this stuff down. A lot of it doesn't even make any sense to me. But then when I arrive to somebody, we'll start chatting and, blah, blah, blah.
These
And
little
then
things start to jump off the
yeah,
page.
and then as you're saying things to me, I go, oh, well, that explains why this was said, blah, 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 blah. And then this. And hang on, let me tell you more about da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then there's that immediate connection.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and it sort of validates what we're going to be doing as well.
Yeah.
A lot of the times clients will say to me, you know what, just that reading alone, that's enough. I don't even need to do the hypnosis now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, no worries. So some people choose to do the hypnosis. Some people choose, no, I'll do the hypnosis another time. But yeah, so once we've gone through all of that sort of stuff, then I talk about how I do the hypnosis. Yeah. So it's a very natural state of hypnosis. It's not one of those, when you go to these shows and people on the stage, 3, 2, 1, you're out, you clap like a chicken, and then you've got no idea of what you've been up to.
And I've seen this firsthand when we're on our cruise, and they tried it on me. It didn't work.
Yeah. Because I think subconsciously you didn't want that to happen.
I didn't want it to work because I was kind of
We've
scared.
actually got footage of Chris being hypnotized. He just didn't think he would be hypnotized.
Yeah. Why am I naked?
Turns out he was just like blind drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for example, with different brain waves, at the moment we're in beta. So that means that we're fully present, we're aware of what's going on in the room and we're having a conversation. Right. So the next level down is alpha. Alpha is another natural state that you naturally go in and out of throughout the day. So that's the sort of experience that you have, like, say for example, you're driving home from work, you pull up in your driveway and you go, fuck, how did I get here?
Yeah, that.
How did I not run
kinda,
a red light?
Yeah.
Like, it's that weird sort of. That's because you drop down into alpha.
Yeah. Definitely experienced that a few times.
And people also go into alpha whenever you watch TV. So that's why people use TV at the end of the day as a winding down mechanism because it drops down your consciousness.
Yeah.
And advertisers know this. So that's why they do lots of advertising on TV because you're already suggestible.
Yes.
Yeah. So the next level down is theta. And that's the level that I hold you in. The next level down is delta, and that's when you're dreaming. So theta you naturally experience twice a day anyway. And it's that moment where you're just about to nod off to sleep. You're awake, but you're not quite asleep. That little window. And also when you're waking up, you were asleep, and just before you woken up, it's just that little window in there.
Yeah.
I find
So
myself,
that-
like, sorry to cut you off, but, like, I find
alright.
myself sometimes when I'm at work where, like, I'd be cutting in a wall, or I'll be like we always
Just
joke
fall
about,
asleep.
just rolling walls. No, not that.
Turn around, the room's finished. You're like,
No, like, seriously, but, like, you're just getting this rhythm, obviously, because you know what we're doing, but
I think it's just the
You
paint
zone
fumes.
out.
but I feel like I'm actually not in the room.
It's like
Yeah.
a
Like
flow
I'm
state.
on like
Yeah.
autopilot,
Yeah.
but like I'm somewhere else.
That would be
Yeah.
alpha,
like I
wouldn't it?
full visualize, like I'm.
You've dropped down.
Yeah,
Yeah, you've
that's
dropped down.
fucking crazy because like I've experienced that so much in
Yeah.
the last year alone.
Yeah,
That
and
would-
that's normal.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that
Yeah.
would be like when people go, when people say like, oh, you need to get into like your flow state, where like you're unconsciously doing a task or something like that.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
actually going, okay, I need to do this and this.
Yeah.
Instead, you just kind of just
It's automatic.
automatic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I find it, especially going back to that, like when I'm in autopilot, as saying, but when I feel like I'm in a different element or wherever I am, or thinking about an actual like dream or something, it's like everything feels real. Like I feel like and the music in the background of me actually listening to music like it's still there, but it kind of fades out at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's like I could have the music full blaring, but it doesn't feel like that. Is that normal as well?
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
cool,
Yes,
cool.
it is. Yeah, because if you think about as you're nodding off to sleep, what's one of the first things that your body actually does? It shuts down sound.
It shuts down the sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess you're always still like you're aware of light and movement, but yeah, your ears kind of do zone out.
Yeah.
Like when you're watching TV and you obviously fall asleep. Yeah, okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
so that's why, like, when you meditate, it's important to meditate in quiet as well.
Right.
You know, some people use meditation music, some people use guided meditation, but for me, I need to do it in complete silence because everything gets really loud for me. Even the quietest of noises, it feels really, really loud.
Right.
Yeah, because everything changes and it shifts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're meditating, that's also alpha. Is that correct?
No, it's a deeper state.
it is.
Mine's theta. Yeah.
Theatre. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Theatre.
Yeah, because I can drop down really low and then ask questions and I get answers.
Yeah, I like that you asked that because I was going to actually ask that as well. Because I've done guided meditation where it's not like guided where like there's someone consistently talking to you through it. It's actually an app that I used back when I didn't believe in like meditation and stuff like that, and I tried it out. And it was like a 7 or 14 day like quick guide to get you into it for like if you're brand new to it. And it was like 15 minutes a day, do it, sit down, you do like a mantra, so like you're like going like over and over in your head effortlessly.
Yep.
And then sometimes you'll find yourself running off going, hey, did I put the washing out? And like thinking about random
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
and then
yeah.
going, oh shit, oh, what am I going to eat
Yeah.
for dinner tonight? You know, and
So you're training yourself to focus.
to focus, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I found I got more relaxed. I wasn't getting hung up on tiny little things that were pissing me off throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one time, probably about the 4th time I'd done it in a row, so they recommend you sitting up and you're doing it like in a relaxed position. I found my head just dropped, and like I completely like melted into the chair, almost like I'd fallen asleep sitting up, but I was still aware. I could hear everything.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt like I could see everything, but I couldn't see everything. If that
Yeah.
made sense, like
Yeah.
nothing had color or anything like that, but I could see outlines
Yeah.
almost. And that was when I went, holy shit, this is real.
Yeah. 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 There
Yeah.
have been studies, clinical studies,
Yeah.
that have shown all the things that happen with meditation, especially to the brain,
Yeah.
and how it improves
Oh,
people's lives.
Tapping into
I
a high
love-
consciousness.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Haven't
more
been
than
as-
the human brain, the mind, than what we think.
Yeah.
I spent 2 years, well, just over 2 years, visiting a Buddhist monastery.
That's cool.
Yeah, they actually were down the street from where I lived at the time.
Yep.
So 3 days a week I used to go down there and I'd do the meditation classes and the Dharma classes and just get right into it.
Yeah.
I just loved it. And there was one time where we were all sitting in the hall and all the monks were at the front and I'm sitting probably around about the middle of the room and we're doing this meditation and then I can feel myself lifting and then I felt myself being really high up and then I opened up my eyes, and I'm up there, and I'm looking down, and I'm looking at everybody, and then I'm looking at this female monk who I had a really good connection with, and I'm looking at her, and then in my mind I said to her, "Can you hear me?" And I got, "Yes." And it scared the fucking shit out of me. And the next thing you know, one of the monks is going, with hitting the gong thing, which brings us all back. And I'm like, fuck. And as soon as I open up my eyes through all these people, I look right at her and she's already looking at me. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit weird.
Whoa.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But it was her voice that came to me when I had my car accident as well. I've shared the story with you, Chris.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about that a little bit later on. That was very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a very cool story.
Yeah, I can tell you now if you want.
Oh, we can do it? Yeah. Oh,
Why not? While it's fresh.
yeah.
Yeah,
Go,
okay.
Let's go.
go on then.
Yeah, so one morning I woke up and I heard the word right in my ear, car accident, and it scared the shit out of me. So this is when I had New Age modelling.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought, no, I'm not doing work today. I'm going to cancel all my appointments and I'm going to stay home because that was just too weird. So while I was at home, I thought I'll ring the RAC, make sure that my, insurance is up to date and everything's all sweet. And yep, it was. No worries. I'm bored, at home, not used to being at home doing nothing. And then thought, well, it's the end of the day. Right at the end of the day is finished. I'm just going to go to the gym because it's only up the road. It's not far.
Yeah.
And I'll be really careful. And I was really careful. And then I was at the gym doing my workout thinking, I feel really strong, like extra strong. And I'm thinking, oh, that's because I haven't done anything today. And so then get back in my car, check my phone. I'll put it on the seat next to me. I'm going to be really careful driving home. It's really careful, really careful.
Super aware of everything.
Super aware of everything, but the sun's coming right down. I decided to go to the back streets, even though my husband said don't go to the back streets. Didn't see a stop sign, went straight through it and cleaned up another car. And I hit the car, and then as my car smashed up towards me, the windscreen smashed. Don't ask me how I know this, but it was Archangel Michael that came through here, and he said, lean forward and cover your face. So I did. And that happened within like a millisecond. And what I was doing was bracing myself for the second impact because I hit like that and then I hit like that and knocked this other car way over. And then I was like, fuck. And then all this glass that was on the back of my hands, that would have been my face. And I'm like, fuck, and...
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and, because I'd been to the gym, I'm sitting on a towel and I'm feeling really warm. It's all this blood coming from my head. So I put that on my head. I'm like, fuck. And then I saw everything's a fucking mess in my car, but my phone's exactly where I'd left it. So I worked that out.
Was it a Nokia?
Picked up my phone, phoned the ambulance, phoned my mum, phoned my husband. And then I'm looking over in the middle of the intersection because there's no one anywhere. But there's this man standing in the middle of the intersection. His name's Bob. I don't know how I know that, but his name's Bob. He's wearing dark blue jeans and a flannelette shirt, and he's looking that way, and I'm over here. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Help me. And then in his mind, he says to me, I'm here to collect you. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? And for a moment, I considered, and I went, no, my work here's not done. And so I had to shimmy and move over so I couldn't see him. I'm like, fuck off. And I knew I had to stay awake because if I had nodded off, I would have gone.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
That's intense, right?
Yeah.
Do you reckon you saw Bob due to the blood coming out of your head? Like, as in, not only because of the crash, but like, do you reckon because you were sort of in and out? Is that where you're kind of going with?
No, I saw him as like a spirit. Like that's the connection that I had with him.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've spoken to loads of spirits.
Yeah.
And I.
What an outfit, Bob, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit boring.
The Australian version
Yeah, I
of
know.
death.
He's
like,
like, hey, you going? You want to come with me? You're right.
Instead of a cane, it's just like a pack of Winnie Blues. Like, all right, we're going this way. Or
jump in me ute and we'll go, eh?
But he didn't look like somebody that I thought would come and collect me. And he
Interesting.
wasn't someone that I was familiar working with before.
Probably his day off, and he's like, God damn it, Ali, it's my day off. Mate. Like,
What,
Thanks,
dressed for the
Lord.
occasion?
Yeah.
I rushed over, didn't even get to get dressed.
Yeah.
So did you
That's crazy.
when the ambulance come and picked you up? Did they say you had any like concussion? Did they say anything like happened?
Oh
during
yeah,
that period of
I
time?
said to them, look, I do a lot of public speaking and I'm really worried about my face. And so they said, oh, we'll phone ahead. And they organised 3 plastic surgeons. So yeah, and I was saying some pretty trippy shit in the ambulance, and they ended up getting a psych coming out to see me, and the psych says, oh, I believe that you've been saying some things, you know, because I was talking about all the spirits that I could see, you know. And then he started to drill me, and I went, hang on a minute, how about we have a conversation about your relationship with your father, and how about this and how about that? And he just went, I think I'll leave you. And then he left.
Oh,
Yeah.
far out.
Yeah, so that was pretty intense. But I actually think Bob looked really boring, so not to frighten me. That's my thinking.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's not a shock.
I understand you.
Yeah, he looked like
Yeah.
like maybe a local, like he was from the area or something like that.
He
or
just looked like an
an
average Joe
dude.
Blow,
Yeah,
but called Bob. Yeah.
So did you get contact with the other person you got in a car accident with? Like, have you spoke to them?
No, but I heard that they were totally okay. It was just 2 people in their car, and a man and a woman, husband and wife, and the wife ended up with a bit of a bruise on the side of her knee.
Yeah.
So thank God,
That's,
you know.
yeah, that's a blessing. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that's incredible, right?
But yeah,
that's an insane story. I think I don't know if I'm crossing my wires here, but I think I remember hearing about you being in that accident or something.
yeah,
I think.
yeah.
I could be crossing my wires to someone else. that I
You,
might
you,
be, but
you
it
may
might
have, because
yeah.
I had to get other people to step in and help me with my business during my healing
Yeah.
time.
What year was this,
Yeah.
Ali?
Oh, fuck, I don't even remember what year. It was just before I turned 30. So whatever that year was.
So not long ago.
Hang on. No, it's about 15 years ago, I think.
That's Chris complimenting you.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay. So I missed it. Whoosh.
Yeah, so it's like,
Say it again. Yeah. So it kind of doesn't surprise me that I do this sort of work now, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you reckon that helped boost your abilities after this accident?
No, it stayed the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because like as a kid growing up, I've always been able to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise that other people couldn't until I actually started to go to school.
Yeah.
And I remember my year 1 teacher saying, Alison, you shouldn't be saying things like that. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, and things would happen and I'm like, how could you have that fall and not know about it, you know? I saw it happening before it happened. How can you not see that?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Stop scaring the other students, Alison.
Yeah.
I have a personal question to ask you.
Yes.
To do with mum.
Yes.
Right. So, obviously, as we know, well, for the people that know our mother, she's very much in tune with the spirit realm and loves the spirit world and all that good jazz. Did mum ever sit down with you when you guys were, well, mum, how old is mum? About 10 years older than you?
Roughly, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're fairly close.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So, was it like when mum was maybe, say, in her early 20s, you being a young kid, going into your teens maybe, did she ever sit down and talk to you about these kind of conversations?
No.
So
we
you
never had those conversations.
Right.
Not until I was more of an adult.
Right. So,
Yeah.
did you know mum about, like, being involved with that stuff? Without
I did.
mentioning yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how long did you know mum being involved with
Well, because
similar stuff?
I remember my mum and your nana
Yeah.
talking, because my mum was friends with Julie, and they would talk about weird stuff going on.
Okay.
And Julie would share her weird stuff going on in that household, and my
Yeah.
mum would share the weird stuff going on in our household.
Right.
Yeah, so we
So
always
that-
knew.
There was, okay, yeah, cool.
But we never had those sorts of conversations, not until you were a little kid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, yeah, okay.
yeah.
So you would have been maybe early 20s then when you
Yeah,
talked about it.
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, yeah.
Did it spin you out though when you told mum and like when she found out as well? Like was it?
No, not really. No.
So
I
it was
sort of,
just good that you both figured it out. Like, oh, we're on the same kind of.
well, to me, it was
What?
kind of normal. You know,
Of course,
like,
no, yeah, but
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't know different.
So,
You've known this your whole life.
yeah,
kind of
yeah. I think it's weird when people say that they've never had any sort of experience, or more so that they don't believe it.
Yeah, right.
Because the
Yeah.
people that say, "Oh, I don't believe it," I'm like, okay, give me 5 minutes with you, and I'm sure I'll pull out some sort of story that you've experienced
Yeah.
that you've gone, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
And now you're telling me that you don't believe
You still
it?
don't believe it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we all have it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I dig that. That's deep. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, when you come over on Monday, we shared some pretty cool stories, and you told me some real doozies of stories on this topic. Just blowing my mind completely. But going back to quantum healing, we're going through the process of how you put someone under and what happens after this process of going under are the questions that you ask and where we go. Where did we get to with this?
I think we just started into it, and if I may interject and insert
Go
a
ahead,
question.
Ray.
Yeah.
We're on a podcast right now, right? Right? We're on a podcast.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Are
so
we?
another very
What?
well-known podcaster is obviously Joe Rogan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing one of his video clips of a guy that's a hypnotist that was on that show, and he talks about like you can generally tell if someone's easy or difficult to hypnotize.
Right.
And it's, apparently he says that it has something to do with the flickering of your eyelid or something like that. So I wanted to know if you knew anything about that and if it was true. And he goes, I can't remember what it was, if it was like he looks up and closes his eyes or something like that. And like if your eyes flicker, it means you're harder to...
I've never
or
heard
something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll try and find the video. I'll show it
Yeah,
to you later.
yeah.
But like,
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
true or
Yeah.
untrue, but I've never heard of that.
But yeah, his logic behind it was it's got to do with you're too logical and you shut yourself off, and that's your body fighting you from going
okay.
into like a relaxed state.
Right,
You know what I mean?
okay.
Yeah,
Because when I hypnotize people, you do, if somebody is more of a left brain thinker,
Yeah.
which is what you're saying, logic,
Yeah.
you do have to switch them over to their right brain
Right side.
thinking.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's why there are things that I put into place that I get you to do
Yeah.
that helps you to switch over, regardless of whether you're a left
Yeah,
brain
so you
or
have
right brain
strategies to
thinking.
help
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
Perfect, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what he was trying to say. It must have been just like another technique to see,
Yeah.
I guess, to what extent he has to try and work
Yeah.
on that person to
Yeah.
get them to that state.
Yeah, and everybody can be hypnotized.
Yeah.
But whether they want to or not is a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, it's that
Yeah.
willingness of
It's-
having to be
yeah.
open-minded. If you're going to it, like, you're not going to get me, you're not going to do this, you're going to be way harder to
Chris
go
on
under.
the
right?
ship.
Yeah, because you
There
are,
was that was me on the cruise ship.
But maybe you were hypnotized and no one wants to tell you, but when in your hypnosis you believed you were still awake.
He's just messing with you.
yeah,
Chris is like, there's
Yeah.
photos he hasn't seen yet.
Because being hypnotized, you're very vulnerable,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, and a lot of people don't like to feel vulnerable because they don't like not to feel safe.
yeah, or in control. But,
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's feeling safe.
yeah,
Yeah.
One thing I will say about doing the session that we had, it is completely safe,
Yeah.
and it is super relaxing as well.
Chris
Yes,
very,
it
his
is.
clothes on at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But also I keep everything to myself. I don't share other people's stories unless I specifically get permission from them.
do so.
Fully confidential.
Yep,
yeah.
yep, absolutely confidential, and I will take everything to my grave. I don't even take notes on your hypno session.
Yep.
I'll record it and then I send you the recording, because every time you listen to it, you get more and more
Something new.
downloads and something new.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and you can start to make more sense and you can put things together,
Yeah.
you know, that mean certain things for you.
Like you said, like there's something that you could miss the first time you're doing it,
Yeah.
or listening to it, and you listen to it again, like,
Yeah.
oh wow, I didn't pick up on
Yeah.
that, and then
Yeah.
that triggers something else, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like just sharing, like, I guess, like a bit of a story that I had recently as well. So it's kind of like I've got a client. She's very in tune as well with like the spirit realm and stuff like that. But she lives in Queensland. Okay, so the only contact I have with her is her progress photos and phone calls once a week, and messaging throughout the week for a bit of support and stuff like that, right? Me and her, we click on really well. Her partner, you know, her and I, him and I have very similar humour, so I hear him in the background on our phone calls. So we've got great banter, great relationship, like client relationship, and I'd consider her a friend as well, even though I've never met her. Anyway, so it's probably about, I normally speak to her on a Friday at 6:30 in the morning, our time, which is 8:30 Queensland, right?
Yep.
So I wake up about 5:30, give myself about an hour to get into my day, wake up and stuff like that. about 5:30, wake up. 5:45, I'm waiting for the coffee machine to finish making my coffee, and I get a message from her, and she's like, "Hey, just wanted to quickly throw this at you because I need to tell you this." And I've actually got the message here, but it was something crazy. Oh, my phone's going to be shitty now. But it was something like, your guides are telling you to... I got a message from your guides to tell you to be careful about any decisions that you make, and to make sure that you step back, do the pros and cons, and then step back again, and then make a decision. And I was like, what does this mean? I thought it was something to do with like, you know, the people that I work with. I was like, who the hell's messaging you? I'm my client. Like, why are you getting message from someone else? Like an SMS or something like that. You know, I thought it was someone like messing with her.
Yeah,
or I was
right.
like, and I was about to reply back and be like, careful, it's a scam. Like, you know.
No, it's a higher source.
And then I called her like, I was like, all right, just leave it. I'll ask her about it when I get on the call with her. Got on the call with her, and she's like, no, your guides, like the higher being, like your guides, like they're telling me, they're screaming at me, and if I don't tell you, they don't leave me alone.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I see what you mean. And then I sat there in silence for a minute, and I realized, it was around probably about a week or two prior to my dad's death anniversary. And one of the last emails and messages I had from him was a very similar kind of message, and it was like, what was it? Make sure you put make sure you what is it? No, I can't. I put up on my story today.
Yes,
on Facebook, and it was something along the lines of, hang on,
right.
Get up.
I got it. My phone actually opened up this time.
Samsung's.
It's not Samsung, bro.
That's what I said, Jake.
Oh, he goes, the past is gone. Look where you're putting your next step. Make sure it's solid ground. Time does not stop for anyone or anything. Don't put off what you can do today, because you won't know what tomorrow will bring.
Boom.
And that's what my dad sent me in an email. And
Wow.
and as soon as she said that on the call, and I kind of put the two things together, I was like, that's very similar. Maybe he's telling me something. So I'm still yet to figure out what the hell he's trying to...
When was this?
This was like a week and a bit ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like thinking about it, and I'm like, why would he be talking to me now? And then I kind of went, oh, it's coming to a very important time, you know, where quite a big thing happened, you know. So I was like, maybe that's why. And I didn't realize that until maybe like 5 days later.
Yeah, you need to put the dots together.
Yeah. So I think that's cool. Like,
yeah.
I just wanted to kind of put my own little experience.
No, I like that. That's cool,
awesome.
man.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Synchronicities.
Yeah.
Synchronicity.
Because if you are meant to get a message, you'll get it.
Oh, yeah. So I thought that was very, very cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I'm just keeping my eyes open to see what he's trying to warn me about.
Right.
I'm about to walk off a bridge. Like, or into water, because that's my fear.
Don't forget your zogs.
Okay, sorry. So tell us about the process. How you get someone through it.
So what have we spoken about? So you've told us you'll sit down with the client first.
Yes.
And kind of go through a few things and get them comfortable, and you
Yes.
even do like a sort of a mini session almost before, right?
Yeah, and a bit of a life review, you know, so who are you, where are you at, you know, is there anything that you're stuck on, you know, that sort of thing, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, you know, it's not a therapy session, but it could be quite similar, you know.
Yeah.
And I think because I bring all of my tools with me, you know, with all my mental health awareness and all my counselling skills and all of that sort of stuff, it all sort of, you know, flows in. One of the things we do before I put you under is we do like a body scan. So from head all the way through to toe, and you tell me, okay, are you experiencing any health issues? And we go down, okay, anything to do with your head, any headaches, anything, you know, migraines or whatever. Then we go to eyes, ears, nose, and we just work our way down, and we go through the whole body. Because if there are certain ailments and certain illnesses, things that are happening for you, during the hypnosis, we work out what's going on. Because a lot of the times, so many times this happens, and this is something that I've learnt by working in this sort of way, is that all of your guides and all of your angels love you to bits. You've got no idea how much they love you. Like, it's humanly impossible to comprehend how much. You know, it fucking blows me away whenever I get my little open windows of down, like, far out. So they're always there cheering you on, okay? But they can't interfere because we're here in free will, okay? They can only have influence or say or anything like that if we give them permission.
Right.
So I'm always encouraging people, even if you're a non-believer, just ask for help.
Yeah.
Just ask. Show me the signs. Show me what to... Communicate with me in a way that I'm going to understand.
I think there's massive power in that. I like that you said that.
Oh, yeah.
Because like in times of like despair or like uncertainty or, you know, how many times, even whether you believe or not, people still go, please just give me a freaking
Yeah.
sign. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
whether you want to say it's to your guides, to
Yeah.
a religion, God, whoever
Yeah.
it is, or even the universe. You know,
Yeah.
people still ask that. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, because I was halfway through my uni degree and then I'd finished this and this was really sort of taking off and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And then I was starting to really consider, fuck, maybe I should just leave uni. And then I was out shopping, ran into your mum and I said to her, I'm thinking about quitting uni, you know, just fucking it off. But, I'm going to ask first. And so as I'm walking out the shopping centre with a trolley, I hear this, stop. And I'm like, fuck. And they're like, we've got a sign for you, turn around. And so I turn around and as you walk into the shopping centre, you know, there's like the big sort of advertising sign. There's a big advertising sign that says, now is a good time to quit. But it was an anti-smoking campaign.
Whoa.
But the hand sanitizer covered the dude's face. So all I could read was, now's a good time to quit. And it was literally a sign. So I'm like, okay, guess I'm quitting uni.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. So I quit uni. And so I'm doing all this. Okay, so getting back to your guides and your angels, one of the ways in which they do communicate with us is that if you're not listening, what they do is they can actually give you as a gift illness or injury. Now, a lot of people are going to react to that. They're not going to like hearing that.
Yeah.
However, this is how it works, because as human beings, we will always listen to pain.
Yeah.
We respond very
makes sense.
quickly to that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So whatever's going on with you physically, there is a symbolic, emotional reason behind it. So wherever it is on your body and whatever it actually, what it manifests as, there's a message behind it.
Right.
But I think over time, we've lost contact and understanding with what all of that means to be connected with yourself.
So like that one friend that everyone knows that is consistently getting hurt or sick, they're just not listening to themselves.
Yeah. Or it could be a self-worth issue,
Yeah, true.
you know?
Yeah, not taking care of themselves,
Yeah.
not putting themselves.
Yeah,
on a-
and this is, you need to pay attention. Yeah.
I know some
Yeah.
people that are close to us that are like that, eh, Chris?
True.
Not going to say names, but we definitely know personal people that have been in that boat or are going through that boat.
Yeah.
I think we all know someone or know someone who knows someone.
Yeah.
That's, you know, in our circle that's
Yeah.
a little bit like that.
Yeah. Because
that's
you need to
interesting.
look deeper, you know,
Yeah.
and you need to ask the right question to get the right answer.
That is very true. And one thing
Yeah.
we talked about the other day is like, if there's something that we're very, very unsure about, or anyone that's unsure about something in their lives and they want to know the answer to something so badly, and it's like, you broke this down and it just really made sense to me. I'm like, holy fuck. If you look at it this way, you can pretty much find the answer. It's like, say for example, you wanted to know the answer of this question so badly, and it's like, oh, what am I going to do with myself? And it's like, what if you had the answer? What would you do? What if you had the answer and then you're like, oh my god, I'd respond in this way if I knew the answer. And it's like, there you go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you break it down like that, I know it's kind of semi-confusing, but
But yeah, because one of the things that my guides have always said to me, and I've used this when I used to do all my therapy work, when we come across barriers or sticky situations or whatever, something that's difficult that clients are stuck on, and I'd ask a question and they'll say, oh, but I don't know. And then immediately I'll say, but if you did know.
yeah, exactly.
And then
That's where I was
immediately
going
they
with
go,
this.
oh, but this and this and this and this. And I'm like, hang on. Let me just catch that.
Yeah. You just gave yourself the
Let
solution.
me just catch that. A second ago, you told me that you did not know.
Yeah.
Now you've said this and this and this.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with this.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like. I can relate to a lot of these stories.
Yeah.
I remember it was my first sales job.
Yeah.
So I just done my PT qualification, and I got a job at the place that I got my PT qualification. I realised that I got sold into doing it and paying too much for it. Anyways, I learned a lot from that job, and I remember I couldn't quite get the whole thing in sales to find someone's pain to sell them because we buy emotionally.
Yeah.
You know, why do I want to buy that shirt? Because I feel good in it. You know, like you buy with emotion. So I couldn't quite get that in my sales, and I was pretty shit because it was my first time being a salesperson. Right? And my manager was like, all right. He couldn't quite break through with me with like, you know, this is what it means, you know. So he pulls me into his office and he goes, all right, we're going to do a role-playing scenario. He goes, all right, who's your best friend? And I don't want you to tell me, I just want you to imagine that best friend. I'm like, all right, cool. And he goes, all right, I want you to be that best friend. I'm going to be that best friend, okay? I'm like, all right, cool. He goes, does his best friend have a partner or something? I'm like, yeah, okay. All right. And he goes, all right, here's a scenario. Ray, I'm thinking about leaving so-and-so. I'm like, okay, why? And immediately I started asking the right freaking questions because I pictured like a friend, you know, someone that I cared about that was going to go through a breakup or anything like that.
You unpack.
Yeah. And he was like, there you go do that. Yeah. Go make some money. So very similar to that. It's, I guess you've done it in a way that's applicable to that person to get them to answer their own question.
And it's understanding, and understanding the psychology of it, because I know, like with sales, when you watch a person come into a store and watch where they go, left or right, and do they just look or do they touch? Yeah. You know, because all that stuff means things as well.
It gives you signs on, I guess, a barometer of that person where they're at.
So body language is really, really important. Because I pick up on all of that. It's what you don't say as well.
Oh
yeah.
No,
but I think
I like that.
because I've learnt with working with the angels, it's people look for answers, and they should never look for answers. You should always look for the question, because the magic is in the question. Because if you ask the right question, it will guide you to the right answer.
So,
It's not about the destination; it's the journey to getting to the destination.
All right.
So it's fascinating stuff. Absolutely love it.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
So we do a lot of unpacking before we even do the hypnosis stuff. So then that way people feel confident and comfortable with me as well, because that's so important. Because I'm not going to have a session with someone if they don't feel ready and if they don't feel okay. You know, so
absolutely, you build like a bit of a relationship before you get into this sort of thing. Before you're just, like you said, just jumping straight into it, because you're kind of like, and preparing people to expect the unexpected, because you just never know what's going to happen, you know, during these sessions. Definitely.
You know, because I say, okay, we'll do a past life, and I've had clients that haven't come down into a past life. They've gone up, and they've gone through different realms, and they've gone up into space, and they've gone into different things, you know, and it's really trippy. It's really, and I'm just like the journalist, and you know, I just inquire and ask lots of questions. You know, that's what my job is, and just to gather loads of information. You know, so
that's like what you were just saying before. You know, you're asking them the questions that are going to get them
the answers
towards the answer.
And like going through this with you too, it's the way you approach the questions too. It's not too involved. It's very simplistic and easy to respond to. Like where you feel, okay, I can answer that relatively quickly. And not feel like, oh my god, it's not too much to take in. It's like, okay. You respond quite quickly, especially like the mannerism, the way you approach it too is it's soothing, it's calm, and it's very easy to respond to. That's what I'm getting with this. And it has to be too, because like when you do go into a past life, or if you go up or wherever it is that you go, you don't all of a sudden bang, you're in the middle of it, and you know there's sound and noise and chaos and all the rest of it. It's not like that at all. It's little bit by little bit. And I assist you to open up that little window, and the more you talk, the more you will see and the more you'll experience. So it's a safety mechanism, so people don't get overwhelmed and overloaded and scared, you know, because that's not what it's all about. You know? That was the trippy thing about it too, like, because I thought, am I just projecting these images in my head, or is it, you know, something really real happening, you know, right now? And I was like, because you mentioned before we started this, you are conscious of what's going on, but it's like that in between stage of being awake and asleep almost, where you are aware, but at the same time there's more going on. Like I was seeing like flashes, like I mentioned before, and like hearing and seeing words. That's how I was responding, and sometimes it took a couple of seconds for me to like kind of get something, and then whatever would sort of appear in my head, it kind of just felt right to respond with. So whether it being words of what I see or just words that I'm hearing or seeing in my head. So
yeah, but your higher self has helped with that, because everybody experiences it differently.
Yes, I could imagine everyone would be
and
very
that's your higher self looking after you as well and guiding you through that process. Yeah, so and everybody is different with how they experience things and what they see and what they hear and all of that sort of stuff. So you just got to be open to, you know, the unexpected. And I always ask, so with all the hundreds and hundreds of past lives that Chris has had, why was this particular life chosen for him to see now? What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah.
You know, did you tell?
I was about to say, I forgot to mention before, I actually, in the first one that I visited, you had asked me, is there any, I think we mentioned friends, or I have friends. I said, I had a small group of friends.
Yeah.
And you said, is there anyone, you asked me, sorry, is there anyone that you know from your life now that was present in this past life? And I said, yes. And I said, Ray.
Yeah.
So apparently you were there with me in this time as well, apparently. So
Yeah.
Was that a slave? No, I'm kidding.
So because that's another
Jesus
thing.
Christ.
That's another thing that I do is like when you're in a past life, we go through the cast of characters. You know, so if you've got parents in that past life or siblings or a significant other or children, I will hone in on each of them and say, okay, that person in your past life that you can see, your mother in your past life, let's get a sense of her. Do you recognise and sense her in that lifetime as somebody that you know in this lifetime now?
Right.
Yes or no?
Yeah. Okay.
And then you'll say yes, and then I'll ask who do you know in this lifetime? Yeah, and it's amazing because a lot of the characters that you have in this lifetime you've had in other lifetimes.
God, I'm curious now. Like, was I like a spice merchant or something like that?
Yeah.
Maybe you were a farmer or a fisherman or something. Who knows?
Maybe I was just like your next door neighbor on your farm, and you had awesome grass, and my grass was still dying. Because I'm horrible at taking care of grass. I don't know. Just having fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure I had an important role to some extent.
But during this whole process, and beyond what you do as well, you've mentioned spirit guides and all that help you through all this and have been with you since you can remember.
Yeah.
Like, they help you with daily life and...
Yeah, with, you know, obviously the important stuff, but also like just normal, boring sort of stuff as well, you know? Like, and their sense of humour is just awesome. You know, they can be really silly and stupid and all the rest of it. Yeah. I've got this one guide who is really tall, really slim. He calls himself Max. Sometimes it's Maximilian, depending on what mood he's in. But he's a fucking dobber because with my husband, like, Jim will go out and he will, you know, have a few drinks with the boys, come home. This is like early on when we were starting to see each other. And I'm like, oh, so how many drinks have you had? And he'll go, oh, 3 or 4. And Max is standing behind him going,
Oh.
And I'm like, no, you've had 6. Why would you say 3 or 4 if you've had 6? And he's like, what are you looking at? Like, I'm looking over his shoulder. And he's like, what's going on there? You know, it's a stupid shit like that. Yeah. But even like,
trouble.
he was a bit of a shit stirrer, or still is. But I remember one time when Jim was coming home from work, I was sitting on the front veranda, and this is when he used to catch the train into the city, and I saw him walking up the street, and next minute there's Max skipping behind him, just acting like a fuckwit. And I'm like, what's going on here? You know, like, what's this all about? And then Max follows Jim all the way up and past the front of the house and up the stairs, and Max is acting like an absolute goof. And so I said to my husband, partner at the time, I said, oh, how's your day? You know, anything interesting happen? He's like, no, just a normal boring day. And inside he goes. And turns out that was the day that he picked up my engagement ring and brought it home. And that's why Max is acting like a dickhead, because he's like, check this shit out. Ask some questions.
I don't know if you can describe this, but when you see your guides in a way interacting in like what you see in the real world, like for instance skipping behind your now husband, what does that look like? like, can you describe it? Does it look like just like any old normal person like skipping behind another human being, or does it look like they've got an aura to them or something like that?
Yeah, they do have an aura to them.
Yeah.
For mine, they look see-through.
Okay.
Sometimes when I do see spirits, they do look solid. You know, like I could actually touch them.
Yeah.
But that scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
You know, and I've asked, no, don't be doing that shit. You know, especially like when I see them in my house and things like that. So yeah, no.
God,
Just
I
be
would not
see-through.
have the brain capacity. Like, if I could see like my guides and they're like mucking around and interacting with like my real life, like physical world. Like, I'd get so distracted. Like, I get distracted enough if like I can hear a TV on the background and I'm on a phone call.
Yeah.
Like, I can imagine like if I'm trying to pay attention to you and there's someone behind you like on, you know, like this. I'd be like,
It can.
I don't know what I'm focusing on. Like,
when you get to really know me, you can pick it when I'm doing it.
okay,
Right.
You know, like, because I will sort of maybe change the way in which I'm talking to you, or I'll be like looking over your shoulder.
Are you listening to
You
me,
know-
Ali? Like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
are you listening to me? Yes, I think you should choose that one. What?
But especially like in a work situation, you know, like when I used to do, you know, like a lot of mental health stuff, working with adults and also juveniles and things like that. You know, like when people lie and things like that, their own auras will change. You know, so a lot of the times when I'm working with people, you know, I'm tuning in not just to the guides and what else is going on, I'm tuning into you and I'm looking at your aura.
Right.
And I'll ask certain questions and you'll answer and your aura will be nice. But then I'll ask a certain question and it'll go,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm onto something there.
Like a lie detector.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's really cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, but
I remember that one story you told me with one of your guides who was a Native American.
Yes.
That was pretty crazy. I couldn't believe that.
not to cut you off, but I got something to tell you later. Not on the podcast, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I've got a Native American Indian. He's got this massive big headdress that he wears, and he's really imposing. But he's kind of short in stature. But he kicks my ass whenever I need an ass kicking. You know. So it was actually just before I got that studio. I was saying to Chris, I'd been drawing for a year. Okay, this is how I want my studio, and this is how I'm going to, you know, do all the rooms internally, and this is what I'm going to do. And I kept drawing it, and then I was on the hunt, and I was looking for different things. And then I got a phone call out of the blue saying, come and have a look at this space. And so I went and had a look, and I was like, oh, get fucked. It's exactly how I've been drawing. And I'm like, this is it. And then when I said to them, oh, okay, you know, like, so how much is it? And it was way over my budget, like way over my budget. And I was like, this is just devastating. This is bullshit. Like, what sort of a stupid joke is this, you know? Like, and I got really mad. I thought, fuck it, I'm going home. So I went home and I was so, you know, chucking and wobbly with myself. I thought, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to have a nana nap. So I'm lie down on the bed. I'm like, fuck this shit. This is fucked. You know, like how you just angry with yourself and angry with the world. This isn't fair. So I close my eyes, and as I'm starting to drift off, I hear this bang, bang, bang. And I'm like, fucking Jesus. I thought someone's banging on the front door. And in that second, I thought, they're not banging on the front door because we've got a screen door that's locked, so they can't get to the front door. Oh, fuck, it's at the foot of my bed. And I'm like, oh, no, don't let it be him. And so I opened up my eyes and I looked over my shoulder, and at the foot of the bed, it's Tume. And he's standing there with his staff, and he goes, get up. And I'm like, oh my God. And he's banging on the foot of my bed. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was so scared. I'll get up if you go. I'll get up. And then he just disappeared. And I'm like, fuck. So I sat up and I'm like, fuck, grabbed the phone, rang the place. Yeah, I'll come down and sign the papers. And so I went down there, signed the papers, going, what the fuck am I doing? I can't afford this. I can't afford it. And then I couldn't even tell my husband, you know, that I had done this because I thought, he's going to kick my ass. I can't afford it. What the fuck? A week later, I had a job come in that paid for the next 6 months of the rent.
oh man,
So I'm like, thanks, man. Thanks for that kick up the ass. Because otherwise I wouldn't have done it.
That's nuts, right?
oh, I just got goosebumps
So,
again.
yeah.
Yes, it's
Dude.
crazy.
So things like that happen.
Yeah, right.
I think we all need a little someone to kick us up the butt sometimes. Like,
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, but when it comes in spirit form, it's something else.
Oh my god, I can imagine. That would be crazy.
Yeah, but I've got loads of stories, and they keep telling me, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. And that was the whole reason why they sent me to uni in the first place, because I had to learn how to write, you know?
Yeah, right.
Well, wait for the day that, what's his name, Tomei?
Tomei.
Tomei, he'll come banging on your bed again or your door,
Yeah.
like, write the book.
Yeah,
Like, okay, I'm going.
yeah.
So going back, you first experienced these spirit guides when you were really young. How old
Really
were you when
little.
you first remember, like, feeling the presence or experience, like, hearing them or even seeing them? Like,
According to my mum, since I was really, really like a baby, but from what I can remember, I think was that story that I shared with you the other day about I was on my bike and living in a cul-de-sac. We weren't allowed to ride our bikes to the top of the street because it was a busy street.
yeah.
We weren't allowed to pass a certain house. But, you know, you're always cool showing off in front of all the other kids if you get to the end and back. And so that's what I did. I'm fanging it up past this person's house, and I just saw a light blue car fishtail into the street, knock me off my bike. And my first thought was, shit, I'm going to get busted for being past this house. And so I thought, fucking not today though. And up onto the curb I went, and then this blue car fishtailed down into the street, and I'm thinking, not today. Go to the end of the street and then just ride back again. Yeah, like it was just, that's just
So you,
another day.
wow. So you can somewhat see the future, I guess you could say.
I always get little warnings and little things. Yeah.
So it's like a 10-second quick clip or something you get.
Yeah,
It's
like
you either see it or like you, with your car accident, you kind of had that scream.
yeah,
of warning.
I either hear it through my ear or I see it or I sense it or I feel it.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the night that I met my husband. As I'm walking into the pub with a friend of mine, right in my ear, husband, and I was single at the time, and I thought, no, I'm not looking for a husband. So I walked into the pub, you know, like it's packed, and you look around, and I spotted him. I just knew. And I said to my mate, I said, see that guy over there and with all those blokes, if they come anywhere near us, we have to get rid of them. So we go to the bar, because she's used to me being fucking weird. We go to the bar, get a beer, turn around, and he's right there. And the first thing I said to him was, I don't mean to be rude, but can you just fuck off? And he thought that was funny. And I'm like, you fucking serious? And he just hung around and we got chatting. And but the thing is, we never swapped surnames. We never swapped phone numbers. I didn't know what he did for a living. He didn't know what I did for a living. And that was that.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, my phone rings and it says private number. And my guides say, it's him. So I answer the phone. G'day, Jim. How you going? How the fuck did you get this number? And there's complete silence. And he's like, how the fuck did you know it was me?
What the hell, man?
Did you tell Jim this story?
Yeah, he knows. He knows. But even like when I started seeing him, like I'd go around to his house, and I was saying this to Chris the other day. I could see flames at the front of his house, and every time I'd go around to his house, the flames were getting closer and closer to his house. And I'm asking questions like, what does this mean? Like, what's going on? I hope his house isn't going to catch on fire.
Burning down the house.
And they
Midnight
said,
Oil's on every time we hear that.
Oh, wrong. It's Talking Heads. Anyway.
They said, no, it's got to do with career. And at the time he was in policing, he was a detective. And so I started asking him, are you thinking of changing careers? And he's like, no. And I kept asking him, he's like, no. And kept asking him, he's like, why do you keep asking me that? I've already told you no. I said, oh, so you sure you're not going to like become a fireman or something? And he's like, definitely no, stop asking me. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, why do you keep asking? And I said, okay, I've got to come clean with something, you know. I keep seeing these flames at the front of your house and it's got something to do with your work. And he's like, well, I'm not fucking leaving the police. I'm like, okay, no worries. Anyway, he comes around to my house and he's like, you're a fucking witch. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I've just been asked to go to the arson squad.
Oh,
What? Yeah, and he spent 7 years there.
Wow.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, loads of stories.
Well, yeah, surely he's used to it now, and he he like looks at it as like a little bit of a helping hand sign from you sometimes.
Yeah, it's just he's not bothered at
Yeah.
all, you know.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's used to it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a pretty cool like first meeting story, bro. like husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
Just
Yeah.
that one
that's right.
word just popped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking not today.
Let me go on a few dates first, please. Jeez.
But I actually said to my friend at the end of the night, I said, you watch, one day I'm going to marry him.
Oh
I
wow.
told her, yeah. And she's like, oh, yeah, whatever.
Are you still in contact with her as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did she know like that you had that? Like, have you had that conversation like you just had with us about the story, the spirits telling you that it's going to be your husband?
Yeah, well, I mean,
was there.
she was there.
No,
she's
I know,
used to
but I
it.
mean, at the
But
time,
after-
obviously, you
Yeah.
didn't tell her on the night, but
No, on the night, I said to her, you watch, one day I'm going to marry that man.
yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Oh, funny, Ali.
Yeah, 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 something like that. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. Just circling back to the hypnosis stuff, because it's of a spiritual nature, what I have found is that people that are wanting to increase their spirituality, this is like a gateway. You know, like it sort of cracks open a door for people to
Right.
experience more things.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
if they choose to,
Yeah.
if they want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of keeps it open so that they can always
Yeah,
experience
like
it.
there's something that happens with each person that sort of, I don't know, it sort of opens up something in them, whether it's their third eye or whatever it is. But yeah.
Like today, I mentioned to you before we went on air here, I definitely had something a bit personal sort of like arise inside me. I won't get into it, but yeah, it's something that I feel like I've got to do and I'm ready to do now. And I think that might just be part of what I experienced on Monday. So you're very right, Ellie. It does
Yeah.
open up certain doors where it's emotionally or spiritually as well. Like combined, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It opens
Yeah.
something up inside everyone. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend doing this with anyone that's listening. So
Yeah, if you're interested, or even if you're interested, just to ask some questions. You know, people can contact me and just ask some questions. I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, we'll what we were saying before the show as well. We'll put your social media and contact details
Yeah.
in the show notes on our posts as well.
Yep. Yep.
So they can get in touch because I believe it's very beneficial. For people, whether you're going through things, feeling a bit lost, or trying to figure stuff out, like where you belong, or
Yeah.
what you're doing and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I
Yeah,
think it's huge
yeah.
because it can give you hints and, like you said, ask the right questions to get you the
Yeah.
answer of where you want to be or what you want to do or experience.
Yeah, yeah, and I've got testimonials on my Facebook page if people want to, have a read of, other people's experiences and how they've felt about it. But I had my guides come through and send a message about you. I've mentioned it to your mum.
Wait, what, today or?
No, earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, about you working away.
Okay.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
Okay, I'm just going to sit on the fence with this one. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
no doubt.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless right now. So yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Going back to you, right, what you were saying before, I think it is very important, like, as well as being happy physically, but mental and spiritually as well. Being
Yeah.
happy as well
Yeah.
and in tune can really change your life, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you're willing to let it
yeah.
be tuned and adjusted to make your life better, you know what I mean?
I had one client that reached out to me because she was struggling with the death of her best friend, and she just couldn't get past it, couldn't get over it, and she'd been stuck on, dwelling on it for 3 years, and she couldn't shift it. So we did, a session, and during the hypnosis, we went into one of her past lives where she was a Native American Indian, and in that lifetime, she was actually married to her best friend in this lifetime, and they had a partnership. She was the husband and the friend was the wife.
Oh, wow.
And in that lifetime, the wife died quite early when the children were quite young, and so she had left.
Yeah.
But so what we did is we unpacked that episode, we unpacked that scene with, okay, well, tell me about how did you get through this sadness? What did you do? What was the understanding? And why did your wife have to leave at such a, an early age sort of thing? And so there was a lot of understanding, a lot deep understanding and learning with how the Native American Indians understood life and understood death and, the
They're
cycle
quite
of
spiritual,
that.
yeah.
And the understanding of it. And she said, although we're very saddened, we're okay and we understand. And I said, okay, so with that understanding and that acceptance, in that lifetime there, can you bring that into this lifetime now? So then you can still carry that forward and deal with the loss of this person again, because you've lost them once before and you've lost them again. And she ended up saying, this was part of her lesson. This is what she had to learn. She had to learn the forgiveness and the letting go and the deeper understanding. So I said, okay, well, let's bring that forward into this lifetime.
Yep.
And so things have shifted for her now.
That's incredible.
And she's doing other things with her life, and it's lifted. You know, it hasn't gone away completely because she's still got a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, of course.
But it's shifted and it lifted.
She's made progress. She's
Yeah,
not stuck in that place anymore.
Yeah. So a lot of the times going into past lives, you've learnt things and you know things of value and of importance that you can actually bring into this lifetime and use it.
Yeah.
So
I just love that they've reconnected again in another life. You know, and maybe that it'll happen again in the future, or it has happened in the future. Ooh.
Yeah. You just don't know.
You found out that we were friends in a past life.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Suck shit, Brett.
Sorry, Jake.
Oh man. You had to go there, didn't you?
I'm sure another life which probably didn't come up in Chris's reading. Like, Brett was there as well. And he can put that over my head as well if he was. Brett was the cow on your farm.
I had sheep and goats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he was a goat. You know, a lot with those weird eyes. Goats have weird eyes.
Yeah.
You say Brett has weird eyes.
No.
Come here, Brett. Brett.
But leading into shirts, because we just gave away some shirts for a competition that we had, we were talking before the show that you have a very special prize, or I guess giveaway.
A giveaway.
You want to give to some of our listeners that are interested in knowing a bit more, experiencing what you do.
Yeah.
So, can you explain to our lovely listeners what they will be getting?
Sure. Okay, lovely listeners.
Lovely listeners.
There's a competition that is open as of right now that if you wish to win a session with me, then all you need to do is write a quick little blurb as to why you want to have a session.
Yeah. So,
And so
you can either do that in the comments on our posts.
Yep.
We'll obviously tally it up. Now, if you put something stupid and shitty like because or like
You'll
because
be
I'm interested,
denied.
then you'll be denied.
Yeah. Be
like-
authentic and genuine.
Yeah, be authentic.
Yeah,
You tell us like
Yeah.
share what you don't have to go into detail, but share what you want to kind of get out of it. And we'll also develop there'll be a link posted as well that you can actually click in, enter in your details, and submit your submission as well. And then
we will.
we're going to run it for 4 weeks.
Yep.
So it gives you guys plenty of time to really think about, so there's no rush into giving the answer. But jump in, enter. That's why we'll use your words, Ray.
Or
enter.
even if you know somebody that might benefit, just get them to have a quick listen to this podcast and get them to enter.
100%.
Reach out to us. Let us know if you have any ideas of how you want to write or go about your question to get in, or your thing.
Like,
so if you need some help, we can help you. And then
Yeah.
So
cool.
if you're open with what you want to get out of it, leave a comment under the posts. If you want to be a bit more private about it, then just submit it into the link.
Yeah.
Which will be
The dude's
below
chat.
this post, below our post, and also in this show notes for this episode as well. But yeah, if you're not sure how to kind of word it or anything like that, reach out to us as well.
Yeah.
For a chat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or
And-
even visit the Quantum Healing page. You're on Instagram and Facebook as well?
Facebook.
Yes.
Yep.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram, I wrote it down just to make sure. Quantum Healing. Quantum_healing_Alison_Perth.
Okay, cool.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Yeah, Quantum Healing Alison Perth. And my Facebook page is Quantum Healing by Alison Perth, Western Australia.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll link
So
that up
do
as
your
well.
self a flavor and check it out.
do your flavors as self.
Yeah. Or not both.
And your session with me will be strictly confidential as well. I won't be sharing it with these guys
No.
or
Damn it.
anyone else. Yeah.
No, very cool, very cool. Well, do we want to add anything else?
One thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You had something you wanted to ask, didn't you?
Oh no, not me. I just want to for the end for the Queen herself. If we always normally do this at the end of each episode, we ask our guest a special question. Mm-hmm. If you had, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes of stage time, or you got to write something to leave with anyone that gets a chance to see what you want to say as your last final words to give to the world, what would your wise words be?
Your words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Oops.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah. Wise words of wisdom.
With all your teachings and everything that you've done with your mental health and everything that you've approached and helped and taught people, like what would you, as a collective and with yourself personally and for the world, what would you leave behind as a message?
See the bigger picture.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the times we deal with here and now where you don't know the bigger picture. So see things from a bigger...
Getting caught up in like short-sightedness of like this is happening right now as opposed to like...
So instead of tunnel vision, step outside the box.
See the bigger picture. See things holistically.
Okay.
Yeah.
I vibe that. I really dig that.
Because even saying that, it reminds me of when I jumped out of a plane once and I distinctively remember I had a parachute.
No, it was a 747. So you just got the emergency lock off.
I don't want to go on holiday.
Madness.
Yeah.
But I remember, being so scared that I thought if I die, I don't even care. But just coming down to the earth and just realising how little we are.
Yep.
But yet our problems are bigger than the universe.
Yeah.
But we're so little.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, and we're here for a split second. You know?
That's very true.
I like that you skydove. That's really, really cool. It's fun.
Boom.
Yeah. That I've done it before as well. And it's very liberating.
Yeah.
Almost jumping out of that plane.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me, just on this skydiving side tangent, the scariest part is the ascent in the plane?
Nah, the door being ripped open.
Oh, okay. I found the ascent in the plane was the scariest part. Cause I might have just been the plane I was in because it was rickety as shit.
Yeah, mine too. Piece of shit it was.
Yeah, you're just like, we're not going to survive this.
Yeah. Yeah, and just the noise of opening up this shitty door because it won't open, then it does open.
Yeah. And then you look out and you're like, I've never been in a plane with a door open before.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, I want to go again, and I'm taking this guy.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
It's been so...
Push him out.
To keep it short and sweet, I'm petrified of heights, but I'm not afraid to challenge myself with heights.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Right? So that's my next goal, and Ray said, I'm going to do it with you this
Do you
year.
know why you're probably petrified of heights? Because you probably fell to your death in a past life.
Oh, shit. Don't tell me that. Dang it.
So the parachutes work 90% of the time.
So Ray's like, you got this. Oh.
The instructor's like, all right, Jack, what? Oh, shit, you kicked him out without me. He doesn't have a parachute.
Oh.
Damn you, but yeah, so, that was incredible. I like that.
Yeah.
Very, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't look at the tunnel. Look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
See the scenery, baby.
But now, as we usually approach towards the end of the podcast with me asking my question, Chris's question. Most of this episode has pretty much been Chris's question.
Yeah. Just in case anyone's wondering where the hell it is. So.
I thought I'd maybe ask you if you could maybe share maybe 2 or 3 of your top paranormal stories, if you're willing to share.
What, as in the scary ones?
Whatever you'd like to share.
Yeah, go on, why not?
Juicy ones.
Yeah.
All right, okay. This is the only time I've ever been scared by something spiritual, right? This is when I was working in mental health, and this is a story that I shared with you the other day.
Yeah, this gave me goosebumps too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay,
in, guy.
so this particular resident at the time was going really pear-shaped in a really bad way, and this person had a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia and a few other things like personality disorders and all that sort of stuff. Not that I'm making light of it, but just, she was in a really, really bad way, and I was at a site where I normally don't work at. I was filling in for someone, and the regular staff come rushing into the office, and they said, Alison, we need you, come out, we need you. We don't know what to do with this. And so then I'm walking towards her, and she's going, fuck you, Alison, I'm going to fucking kill you. You come near me, I'm going to fucking kill you. And then straight away my guides are chiming in and they're telling me what's going on and what to say. And I said to her, let's just say her name. Let's make up a name because I don't want to say her name.
Lucy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I said, I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to talk to Lucy. Lucy, can you hear me? And I'm looking at her. Lucy, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Lucy? It's Alison. It's Alison. And she said, fuck you, Alison. I'm going to fucking kill you, you fucking dog. And just saying all these horrible, horrible things to me. I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to talk to Lucy. Lucy, you're the boss of your body. Lucy, can you hear me? Yes, Alison, I can. I'm so scared. I don't know what's going on. Stay with me, Lucy. And so then I was talking with her, and it took me 2 hours to de-escalate her, right? So once we de-escalated her, there's all sorts of things that went on during that 2 hours. But then finally, I said to her, right, let's sit down in your garden because you've got a beautiful garden. Why don't you, have a cigarette and we'll just chill. So I'm sitting next to her. She's sitting right there. I'm thinking, thank fuck, this is over. And so then I'm starting to white light myself. And so I'm visualising a white bubble going around, all around me. Then as I'm putting the white bubble around her, I'm not saying anything. I'm doing this in my head. And then I start to push the white light towards her. She's sitting next to me. And then I saw her head through the corner of my eye just go like that to me. And then she says, what fucking white light? You can't get rid of us. And so I thought, don't you fucking dare. So I looked, Lucy, can you hear me? It's Alison. Lucy, I'm not here to talk to you. Lucy, can you hear me? Yeah, Alison, of course I can hear you. I'm sitting right next to you. She had no idea what had just happened.
Oh,
Eerie.
fuck.
Very eerie.
That's the only time that I actually got scared.
Did her voice change when she spoke to you
Oh,
like that?
fucking oath it did.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a little bit sticky.
Jeez, 2 hours. That's hectic.
Yeah.
And just when you thought it's all over, it's just like the end of a scary
Yeah,
movie.
yes.
It's just like, no, we're still
Yeah, there's part 2. Yeah. So I said to her, right, we need to put in some strategies for you.
Yeah.
Please tell me you had a beer after that.
Jesus.
Get me a double ASAP.
But yeah, then a few weeks went by and then I went back to that same place and that same site, and she ended up saying to me, oh, since I saw you, I'm doing a hell of a lot better now. Things are so much better and I haven't had a lot of bad turns. And
Well, that's good.
okay, good, all right. Keep your strategies in place, keep doing what you're doing. Do what works, pay attention to what works.
So you helped her. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
She got
yeah.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. At the end of the day, the help worked. Like,
Yeah.
oh, eerie.
Yeah.
So that was the most terrifying experience that you've had with all this.
I would say so, because it happened at work and it's the middle of the day and it was unexpected, and just the it was it was it was that. Yeah.
No, thank you. No.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. That was creepy. But I do enjoy these stories. I really do. Have you ever had any experience when it comes to maybe aerial phenomena? Have you ever experienced anything where you might have seen something in the sky that you couldn't explain, like maybe a light or maybe a craft or something? Have you ever experienced anything like? You know where I'm going with this, like
Yeah,
UFO
I know
wise, maybe.
yeah.
I have to ask.
Absolutely. One of my clients, my client's client, is a pilot.
Okay.
And the pilot and co-pilot looked out the window and saw a thing following them, flying alongside them. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've said to my client, get in contact with your client to get in contact with me.
Yeah.
Because I want to do a session.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you get any more info on what this thing was?
It was, they both believed and agreed that it was a UFO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they explain what it looked like at all? Any kind of
it was
shape
just
or form?
it was like a disc, like
Okay, so the classic saucer disc.
Yeah, like that.
Smooth.
The same on the top, the same underneath, and it made no noise.
So that's very common with these aerial phenomenon experiences. Like they see these things, and there's no sound.
Yeah.
They don't hear anything. There's no propulsion noise.
Yeah.
They might hear like a humming noise or a hissing noise here and there, but usually there's just no noise. That's awesome. I'd love to meet this person and talk to them about this too.
Me too.
Especially being a pilot, you know,
Yeah.
they seem like they're very credible with what they do.
Yeah.
They'd be, you know, you'd expect them to be a truthful person.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the right words. You know,
Credibility.
yeah, they'd be credible with what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You believe them, you know, because they spend God knows how many hours in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see something like that, you'd be like, holy shit.
Especially when they come at it from an angle where they're not trying to
Yeah.
get anything from it as well.
Yeah.
They're just like, I just need to tell you guys this. Like,
Yeah. But they
'cause-
didn't report it. They kept it
No.
to themselves, between themselves.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Majority of like instances where this does happen, like if there is a UFO encounter or a sighting, most pilots in this respect don't want to record it because it might incriminate their
discredit them.
Yes,
Yeah.
it might hurt their career if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But I really wish the world wasn't like that, where people were, you know, where am I going with this? Where if they do see something, they feel like if they do say something, they're going to be shunned for it.
Yeah.
When it's like, no, they should be open about it and say, this is what I saw. Believe me, because I'm telling you the truth, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas most people are like, no, you're full of shit. That's not real. That's this or rah, rah, rah. Unfortunately, that's how...
That's a whole nother rabbit hole we could get into.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I just had to ask. I ask all our guests,
Yeah.
and thank you for sharing. I really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having
Awesome.
me.
This has been amazing.
This-
I really enjoyed this
is-
episode.
Yeah.
I have goosebumps about 3 or 4 times.
Absolutely.
So I haven't had that
Absolutely,
yet on
man.
the podcast, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Jack's going to be driving home
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah. Good luck.
I'm alert.
But good luck when it's time to go to bed tonight,
Yeah,
Jake.
oh shit! I'm gonna be up early too. Damn it!
The
Like
next
it's
two
an
of us.
all-nighter again.
But no, Ali, thank you so much again for coming on tonight. We really, really appreciate it. Like this episode's been an absolute doozy. We've loved
it's been amazing.
all the information and all the stories that you shared with us tonight. And
Thank you
wow,
for-
I don't know what else to say. I'm just like,
Just
blown
thank you
away.
for being here. And
Yeah.
just
Spending
being
some time with
around
us.
your presence, your aura. It's just it's such a vibe. It's awesome. I love it.
Thanks, Jake.
The energy and the vibe is real. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
positive.
Yep.
Yeah.
All positive.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you
and
so
if
much.
Thank you. And if your listeners want to hear more stories, or if they want me back again, then just say so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Send us a
Definitely, we'll
message.
have you back.
That's
for
my
the
word,
show. Yeah.
My goodness.
Well, shout out to our listeners, our first time and last time listeners, and our continual listeners. We appreciate you for coming back and checking out us. You know what to do. Share us, talk about us,
Enter
do
the
what you can.
competition.
Anything helps. We really appreciate it, and thank you for tuning in. It really means a lot. So,
And
just
enter the
finally,
competition, people.
Yep.
Look
yes,
into it.
yes,
Yes,
Ali.
please.
Ali is amazing.
Go
You guys
follow
are-
Ali's page.
Yes.
Go like her page on Facebook.
Yes.
Hit her
Once
up.
again, Ali, share with us your Instagram and your Facebook pages for us once again.
Okay, Instagram is quantum_healing_ Alison_Perth. So quantum healing Alison Perth. And Facebook page is Quantum Healing by Alison Perth, Western Australia.
Woo!
Excellent.
Check it out, people. Check it out.
All right, you heard it here first, guys. Thank you for tuning in again for the dudes of the round table. We appreciate you.
We love you all.
Thank
Peace
you.
out.
Much love.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Fucking hell.